What up, everybody? We are live. Champagne Sharks. It's me, Be the Star, along with Kenny. Say what up, Kenny?
Peace. I haven't been on here. When's the last time I was streaming live?
A million years ago. I
It was
haven't
like
been on here in a
3 months
couple
ago.
weeks.
I've been
I
on
have
here.
to,
I know T was recording the other day, but I didn't know. And
because T don't tell nobody. He
yeah,
want to
he
be
just
in and out, so he don't let
yeah,
us know. He be
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's the difference between a 45-minute stream and a 2.5-hour stream. Big
me and Kenny.
difference.
The big difference is me and Kenny not on it. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's a big it's a big difference.
Our guest today is Coach Dom of Dominate and Hustle
What's
Fitness.
good? What's good? What's good? What's good?
If you guys
What's
call our
happening?
podcast, he was on our podcast. We got like crazy responses to that. Everyone really loved that episode. Thank you for that episode, Coach.
I appreciate y'all for having me. That was beautiful. Yes, I
So,
had a good time.
so for those of you guys who have not listened to the podcast yet, please go check it out. It's on Champagne Sharks on all your streaming apps. But what we talked about was his work in Dominate and Hustle, why he created it, why it was important, and why he focuses on bigger bodies. So that's what we talked about. The origin story is dope. So let's start basically how I found him, who, by the way, he is now my personal trainer. He's
Yes.
wonderful. And I can get in, I'm going to gush about him a little bit later. But because y'all see me talk shit about him on Twitter, so I'm gonna be nice to him on here. But this started, at least me finding you, started with someone actually being negative. Do you want to tell us about how that happened online?
Yeah. So apparently, some hater had put up an old picture of me and was like, "How you gonna take?" No, it was a tweet I had said about me being the voice or the hero for the big boys because you don't normally see big guys being personal trainers. And so I was talking my shit and just giving up, advice or whatever. And then all of a sudden, some random account found me, went into my page and found a picture of me in my old picture when I was bigger, and was like, "How you gonna take advice from a fat trainer?" And was talking shit. And I was like, I was either gonna let it slide or hit them with kindness because you never like with me when it comes to talking shit on the Twitter and me being a business owner, I have to make sure I keep it professional, but also like let motherfuckers know like I ain't the one to play with. So I told them, like, bro, you found an old picture of me, like you trying to make some shit out of nothing. And then after that, next thing I know, my phone just started blowing up. People out of nowhere supporting and came and saying, "Well, he ain't that bad. He fine." All the compliments, which I appreciate, though.
I want y'all to notice the compliments he focused on. He said he fine. That was the ones he liked because those confirmed how he already
Everybody
feels
said I
about
was fine,
himself.
But at the same time, I took it as like, okay, so because usually when people try to fat shame you or try to crack a joke on the timeline, that's when like the people just hoard in and just talk shit and they all come in agreement. But that wasn't the case. They flipped the script and like got on her ass or hit, and come to find out it was a female or a woman that was talking shit, but then to come to find out it was a dude behind the account.
Posing as a
So I
woman.
was
Right.
posing as a woman.
So had a female avatar, but the person behind the account was actually a man who just likes to antagonize people, right?
Antagonize people. And so when all that happened, but the biggest thing that I thought was dope was that I got support from the LGBTQ community. Like that. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm not the baby. I salute y'all. I love y'all. But you know what I'm saying? I appreciate all the compliments. I appreciate everything that y'all have said, the support, the clientele that I got from it. So I appreciate it. But it was just, you can't really talk shit about somebody that's trying to do something positive. Like it's always somebody trying to take you down when you're trying to shed a light on something that's not talked about, like especially being a big guy and then trying to promote fitness and not be the normal trainer where like, oh, you're fat, let me get you skinny. It's about getting your health in order because you won't have to be in the hospital. You won't have to be put onto the medicines and like you won't have a life expectancy of seeing past 25 or 30. And so for me, that's what I heard when I was 27 at the time. My doctor was like, if you get your health in order, you're going to be on medicine and likely,
So like Just so people can be clear, like diabetes medicine, heart disease medicine,
Heavy.
blood pressure, that kind of
medicine,
stuff.
all that.
Yeah. I just want people to know what you mean, because you're not just talking.
Yeah.
You're like specifically talking about these are the diseases that come with unhealthy lifestyles.
Exactly. And so my doctor was like, you're either going to have the blood pressure medicine, heart medicine, all the medicine that you like at 27. Like, I ain't trying to be no medicine at 27.
Yeah.
And so I had to get my shit together, and we here. So
Absolutely.
I lost
that's good, because for the simple fact that a lot of people would have been like, well, I'm gonna do it one day, or one day either never comes, or they wait till the last minute, or you know what I'm saying, you just never know. Because I also just so we can keep going back into your background, because you was on the podcast, you come from an athletic background, so for you it probably wasn't as hard to say, okay, I need to get my shit together, as compared to someone else that's never been an athlete.
And so that's why I try to bring that approach, because like you tell the average person, if you don't get this together, you're gonna have this problem, and they're gonna go into a panic mode, and they're gonna shut themselves down. As opposed to me, I'm like, shit, I can't do that, because like I have health problems on both sides, mom and dad, and so like both cancer survivors, and so I'm just like, I ain't trying to be in that number in my 30s, and so when I got it together, and I found the recipe to how to get my health in order, besides just working out, you got to change up your whole lifestyle with eating better, sleeping better, lowering your stress levels, and like putting yourself in positive situations. And of course, it wasn't easy, but at the same time, I made it to where I made it for me, and then I made it so became my own businessman, and then we've been booming ever since. So like my mission now is to get people to understand that it's not about trying to get skinny. It's not about trying to look a certain image. It's about feeling good, but being healthy. And I'm at a solid 300 pounds. I was 350, 360 when I first started. So like I'm a solid 3, and I'm like,
and what a lot of people do is, if they go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh, if you don't do this, 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 and this, they do crash diets. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll reach for the get skinny scheme, where they're either gonna have to do those flat tummy tea, the shit we see on
teas, all that bullshit, the Herbalife shit,
Herbalife,
And you know what I found, and it's interesting. It's interesting that you pointed that out, Kenny, because that's true. And this is where I think doctors fail, is they're not specific in what that means to get healthier. I have only had maybe one doctor ever tell me specifically what that meant and got me a nutritionist, right? Other than that, I just had doctors who say, oh, you just need to go lose weight. You just need to lose weight. And then sometimes they'll tell you, or they'll tell you, you just need to lose weight over an issue that has nothing to do with weight. That's nothing that they'll do. So you'll be told, just lose weight, with no conversation on what that looks like or how you do that. So then people jump into the crash diets. And I'm learning even myself, that those crash diets actually create long-term problems. Even if you are successful, it still creates because losing weight too quickly, all kinds of issues, and to the point where I developed issues because of it. And I didn't realize that losing weight quickly actually causes more health problems, both psychologically and physically. So what you're pointing out is really important too, Kenny. It's not about crash dieting. It's about an overall lifestyle. And I think that's one of the things I like about you and what you talk about and working with you. Because even our first session, we worked out. And after our workout, we talked. You talked about diet, talked about how I eat, talked about nutrition. It wasn't just, even how you feel. It wasn't even just food. It was like how you feel overall. Why do you think that approach is important for trainers? Because some trainers don't do all that.
Because I learned from the people I've trained with and who I was under as a mentor or was a mentee. And fitness is, they always say fitness is 80% mental, 20% physical. And so you could do all the work you want to. You could be in the gym 2 or 3 hours in a day. But if you're not feeling like you're in the right spot mentally, you're going to crash out. It's going to lead to overeating. It's going to lead to stressing yourself out. It's going to lead to you having a downward spiral. And so growing up, like, I was a big kid. I always get picked on. You know what I'm saying? I had all that. So you have to build that mental toughness as you get older, because people going to talk shit.
Regardless.
They're going to say everything in the book. And I played sports. I did all that, but like, you're still gonna get talk shit because you don't fit the norm as a healthy guy. But at the same time, I can run with the best of them. I can outlift anybody in the gym.
You probably be able to outwork out a dude that's 130 pounds. Because I know this for a fact because I have a friend who's like 140 pounds. He got high blood pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So don't think because you're skinny that you in shape. Don't think that because you big that you ain't in shape. Because that don't have nothing to do. I'm 219 pounds. And today I'm in Portland. It's humid as hell outside, but I did 15 miles on my bike like nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
The scale don't mean shit. I tell people like don't look at the scale because like my body frame, I'm a strength coach. So like I lift heavy. I also incorporate, cardio. That's like when I post my stuff on Instagram or Twitter, I'm showing the work. Like I'm really in the trenches doing this shit. I'm not like just, okay, guys, we're gonna do this today. And I'm showing y'all I'm in the trench. Like I've always made it to I learned from watching Cam Newton when he was in the off season last year with the Patriots, and he kept posting workout videos every day. And like people are always trying to question his work ethic. He's showing y'all.
No, he worked his ass off. Because you know what's funny? I'm glad you brought him up because he's a perfect example of someone that if he didn't work, he would get big. He'd blow up like fast.
Exactly. And he went to Florida. He's from here.
Yeah,
went to Florida. Yeah. And I met him. That's a big.
He's a
guy.
big dude. He's a big dude.
6'8". It's a big guy.
He's a big guy. So I saw something on Instagram today because I follow a lot of like fitness. Women that do fitness, men, whatever. And there was a woman, and she said, because I always used to think about, how when you could, you be in the bathroom, you walk past the mirror, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You're like, man, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She brought up a lot of important things just for your mind, and she talked about like bloating. She showed a picture of herself at 7 a.m. before she went to the gym. Before she went to the gym, she looked like an IG model. Then she showed a picture when she was going to bed. She was bloated. She looked bloated. And she's only like 27, 28 years old.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? He also talks about posture. A lot of us have bad posture. With bad posture, when you look in the mirror, you might look fat with bad posture. But if you sit the right way, you'll be like, oh, I'm not fat. So a lot of this is in our minds. Like a lot of it is in our mind.
The posture thing is super real because think about how you look when you go like this in the mirror.
Oh yeah, your stomach is gonna blow.
Everything looks bigger. Your body just looks, and you don't even like because I know sometimes when I'm sitting down, that's how I know I have bad posture. I'm sitting down somewhere, and there's a mirror right here on the side of me.
You'll look,
and I can see when I'm going like this, and it looks disgusting. But when I go like this, like where you're supposed to stand, you sit. You look different. You don't even look like this ogre.
and it's funny. It's funny y'all say that because when I started out, I used to have a little hunch, or I used to walk with a little waddle. But like once I had learned how to properly, like with fitness, you pretty much relearn your body. You relearn like you cut out all the bad habits. You cut out all the what you was eating crazy or how you stand up. Like now I walk like I'm a big guy, but like I walk with like such a bravado, like, hey, like you ain't gonna fuck with me. Like that's just how it is. But like you can, like Vita said, you look in the mirror, you're like, damn, I do look bad. But then you get back in the mirror like, oh wait, shit, I'm straight. But
not as bad as I thought I was.
It's a mental thing. And so that's
a big part of it. That's the one of the biggest parts of it is getting your mind conditioned, not only just to be able to work out, but to also feel good about yourself so that you'll want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then you won't want to do crash diets. Hey, ADOS children. Why can't you talk today? ADOS children in the building.
Hey, ADOS children. What's up? Thank you so much. I'm glad you
Speaking of which, I need to contact Nigel. I ain't talked to Nigel in a long time.
Yo, I messaged her on Twitter and she didn't respond. She hasn't been on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about when it comes to fitness, like I said, it's 80% mental, 20% physical. And so you have to really psych yourself up to transform your whole lifestyle. Like I told Vita when we first started, I said, baby, it's gonna be a whole shift.
Yeah,
you gotta commit yourself to this. You just can't work out today and then eat bullshit tomorrow.
Yeah, you can't do the whole I got to get right for the summer. You can't do that shit, especially
and
when you get over 25.
And those things are super temporary. Like that sort of temporary mentality is the opposite of I'm going to have a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
The funny thing is the things I've been learning, recently, you guys know, both Coach Dom and Kitty know I've been really big into learning more about health, nutrition, learning about my body, especially since I've come to find out I've created these, I keep saying I created, but I've come to have developed other issues as a result of dieting, honestly.
Yeah.
And so I think people have to understand that lifestyle change doesn't mean that you can never have macaroni and cheese again in your life. It's just be able to incorporate that in a healthier lifestyle. So you're only eating mac and cheese, maybe Thanksgiving and Christmas, and letting it go the other times of the year. Or you eat it that week, but the rest of your week you're on point. You know what I mean? Like there's a way to eat. But I'm learning. These are things I was never taught. I literally was taught restriction. And I come to find out restriction has led me to cause my body more harm than good and made it more difficult to lose the weight, because now your body's basically confused and doesn't know if it should hold on to fat or not. And so you develop, your body has to be reconditioned now, which is in your 30s, it's a little bit harder than in your 20s, right? Has to be reconditioned to burning fat. I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know the importance of strength training, even outside of weight loss, right? Like the fact that I can now do at least 5 push-ups when I could not do
10.
I cried the last time. The first time he had me do them, I was literally crying. I was like, why are you going to do I can't do this. And he said, but you did it. And I did it, So it's more than just even the weight loss. It's feeling proud of.
She has this way where she try to cry herself out. So I don't care.
Nah.
Do not care.
You can't be crying.
She be like, Dom, it hurts.
That's the whole point. It's supposed to. Once you do it on a consistent basis, it won't hurt no more.
With her, the first workout, I gave her like a little sample to see how I can push her. Cause like with me, I tell anybody, I don't bullshit. I don't give you no little. All right, we're gonna squat. We're gonna do some jumping jacks. Nah, I gave her the little basic training test, and then the next week, all right, you got 10 burpees. You got mountain climbers. You got plank jacks. She like what? And then she got some resistance. She got resistance bands. I said, we're gonna do an all workout. She's like, oh my god, dog, this hurts.
My calves.
I'm like,
listen,
keep going.
As somebody who absolutely hates exercise, it's dope to have a trainer that's actually motivating you. And this is the other difference between just I'm going to push you and I'm going to push you where you cannot go. You're actually clear on where my abilities are. And because of our discussions that we have, where I am mentally, where I am physically, when I'm really having a bad week versus me just whining, right? Not everybody has that insight. And so that's the other thing. You're not like hard to the point where you're inflexible. You actually accommodate based off of where the person actually is versus where they think, versus where they even might limit themselves in thinking that they can go.
Right.
I have a big heart, man. I like coming into this industry. You gotta have heart. Some motherfuckers in this industry don't give a fuck about their clients. They just want to get that money and flex their little muscles and go about their business. But me, I come from a space where I was once that motherfucker that couldn't do a push-up, or I couldn't even bench a goddamn bar when I was younger.
Yeah.
So like now, like I got my ass kicked by my cousins, mentors, but it's like everything it wasn't like you suck. It was like get that shit up. You can do it. I ain't gonna baby your ass. Get the fuck up and let's do it. And like playing sports, you heard every word in the goddamn book. I play offensive lineman. Get your big ass on that line.
Yeah, they talk about y'all. They talk about y'all like y'all got a tail,
brother. Listen, I've never been cussed out that many times ever in my life.
Wow.
And the dude cussing you out got high blood pressure.
And like, I never get one time in practice.
I swear, am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Listen, 345 pounds, big
these
feet,
coaches do not. They don't give a fuck. They will cuss your ass out. I never forget one time I fucked up in practice. They're like, Isaac, get your motherfucking ass on that motherfucking line, and you gonna motherfucking run. I'm like, God damn, all right. You just gotta keep going. But like it built and then it's worse in the game, especially if we in a game and your ass jump offside. And I'm the center, and so if you fuck up the snap, get your motherfucking ass on the bench, right?
He's not lying. It's exactly the way it is. That's the way it is.
And you like this
specifically for y'all, specifically for the big boys. Because I don't know why it's like that, but I was a running back, played defensive back. They didn't cuss at us. You know what I'm saying? But y'all talked about y'all.
Got the special treatment, like the quarterbacks. That's the diva. He gets on the timeline and his little lemonade. The receivers, the running backs. But
that's the thing about when it comes to working out, because you went through that. I call it's mental abuse. I'll tell people.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's mental abuse. When you go through that mental abuse, it's different. And that's the reason why when we were on the podcast, I was saying I'm not a good trainer. I'm not a good person to work out with because my mind is there. Yeah. It's still on some, nigga, you going to die if you don't do this shit. Yeah. You don't have a choice because that's the way I was raised playing sports.
And so when I train clients one-on-one, I'm monotone.
Right.
I have the soft voice because I can't get at her. Get your motherfucking.
Oh my god, nigga, no.
I mean, this is the thing. It's not that I would be yelling at someone.
I would never come back.
If we was on a bike ride, right? Like my typical bike ride where I live, it's all uphill. It's downhill coming back, but it's a good 9 miles going up. So if you told me you couldn't do it, I was looking back at you like, what are you talking about? Like I'd be like, whatever, man. I'll just be gone. I'd leave you. Because I wouldn't get it, doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean you can't do it? It's just a bike.
Listen.
So it takes a lot of preparation to do what you're doing.
Yes, you gotta have patience. You gotta have understanding. You have to have a soft spot because most of my clients are females. Yeah. And so, I'm
we
a
ain't
mama's
had no
boy.
football coach.
Right.
Yeah, y'all had the fathers, y'all had the uncles that would say stuff or slick stuff, and and then hearing the different backgrounds of what women come from, where it comes from. You know, if you'd have told me her past life or her current, when she was growing up, to where, most women had domestic, you had marital problems, you had baby daddy issues. You
gotta be gentle.
So like, you got to
because
it might trigger something.
Hyper triggering. Right. And I'm very open about my story, so you could have just shared it. I grew up in an abuse. I appreciate that. But I grew up in a very abusive household. My father was that kind of dad. Get out there, run. He didn't cuss. He was a Christian, so he didn't cuss. But honestly, this is exactly why I know I'll be going off the topic. But this is exactly why I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with the actual words of cuss words, and I think it's kind of stupid that we, as a culture, have all agreed that there's these words that are just so bad to say. When you can say something just as hurtful or 10 times worse without a single cuss word. Right, so the cussing is just garnishment as far as I'm concerned. But whatever. Yeah. But I grew up in a very abusive household. So to have a man yelling at me does not sit well with me. It does not put me into motivation mode. It doesn't even put me in fight mode. It puts me in fear mode and defensive, and I become almost overly appeasing because that's like my survival tactic. Right. It's like, how can I make this situation less abusive? Right. So those aren't healthy modes for me to be in to work out. If you're triggered, especially since a lot of me working out and the issues I'm even having with my weight literally stem from childhood abuse. I think you and I have all of us have actually talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah.
The fact that, there's a direct correlation between childhood physical and sexual abuse and obesity.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So if you're, those guys who don't believe me, you guys can literally Google it. It's obesity studies that prove that literally 35 to 40% of people who are morbidly obese have a childhood physical or sexual abuse history. Nobody talks about this, but because of that is why I personally don't.
And we see it. When we see it, and I'm gonna give y'all an example of when we saw it. Nobody said anything. I was watching. I think everybody has seen this clip on YouTube. Is Lil Boosie at home talking crazy about his son, who's like 11 or 12, and he's big. Now this is the crazy thing. This because I do this. This is the work I do. So I immediately started picking up on stuff. I saw him talking crazy, but then in that same episode, they showed what Boosie be buying the food he buy, he got candy, chips. I mean, anything you could think of, and he admitted, like, oh man, I can't help it. I gotta have this and I gotta have that. I'm like, wait a minute, but that's all you buy. Didn't have a vegetable in the refrigerator. Didn't have a fucking apple. Okay, wasn't a fruit in the refrigerator.
So listen to
what Boosie diabetic.
But listen to this. Yeah. Oh, and that's interesting too. But listen to this though. Notice that he's literally bullying his child for how his child's body works. His body happens to gain the weight that Boosie's body doesn't gain, or maybe the other children don't gain. I guarantee you those other kids ain't healthy either. They're just not as big as the other.
They're just not big. Right? To him, big means unhealthy to him. Even though, like Dom just said, Boosie a diabetic and Boosie only 160 pounds.
Exactly my point, right? So what the child has internalized isn't I should change my diet and I eat unhealthy. The child internalizes something's wrong with me physically. I'm the problem. My body is bad. I'm bad. The other parents don't realize that they're doing this to their children when they do those types of things. I don't even think Boosie realizes it. He's not even leading by example, right? No. My dad used to tell me something similar. He would say, "Oh, I can eat this. I'm not fat," because my dad happened to be one of those people who was skinny, never gained weight, just skinny and ate like it was nobody's business, right? Yeah, but he would eat to the point where even when I chose a healthier lifestyle, I gave up red meat and pork, he got mad at me. Like that's the kind of like encouragement I received, but he didn't see it. He didn't see his diet as bad because he never gained weight. Yeah, he would brag about it. Oh, I can eat this because I'm not big. I can eat this because I'm not fat. All this kind of stuff. Right?
I heard all that same.
My dad literally had a mild stroke in his 40s.
Right.
Yeah.
He did not weigh no damn 200 pounds. My dad at most weighed 160. At most, maybe 170. He was a tall guy, so maybe he weighed like 170. He was a very slim guy. So when you're bullying children, that's why I always feel like people who focus on weight in regards to other people don't actually give a fuck about health. They're just talking out their ass. Because if they actually gave about health, the size of the person wouldn't matter. The health would matter. Doesn't matter if the person's big, if the person's small. I care about health. Sweetie got a whole endorsement deal with McDonald's. I ain't heard people complain about that yet.
Oh man, you seen the food choices, boy?
I didn't even look at them. She's disgusting. So I didn't even look at it.
Got a goddamn. She got a
nasty
French fry burger with ketchup on the bun on meat. I said, what the fuck is this?
Are you fucking serious?
On the outside of the bun. That not even the inside. Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous.
But you know what? Dom, you know this because you live in the South. I've been to Miami. My homegirl, she probably watches right now. My homegirl Jamila, she live in Miami. She from Miami.
Yeah.
Y'all got some restaurants down there. You just be like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
Yeah.
I should not be eating that.
Yeah.
But I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
soul food spots.
Oh
DJ
man.
Khaled shit with
I've been in Miami Gardens, the finger licking.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, but notice the response to what's this girl's name? Sweetie versus a response to Lizzo. What if Lizzo had that same type of endorsement?
Well, they talk bad about Lizzo because she was trying to get her health together.
Right.
Yeah. And baby looked good. She lost weight.
Yeah, she does look. I honestly thought she was always an attractive girl. So if she lost weight, she was gonna look good. You know what I mean?
She been fine.
But okay, Dom. No, she been fine. She's a very attractive girl. I got you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, notice the response to Lizzo versus the response to Sweetie. Lizzo exercising, people talk shit about her. Right?
Yeah.
Sweetie, all they do is make jokes about, how your stomach might be fucked up. But they don't talk nothing about health, ever.
No.
What up, T?
No. What's good?
And nice to meet you.
What'd you say?
I was just saying nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, brother. What's good? But
not much.
With Lizzo, with Sweetie, that just correlates with the fitness world. Like, I have a lot of clients where they feel like I have a client, I'm not gonna say the name, but I have a client where they hate the gym when I take them to the gym because they don't want to feel like they're being judged. So I took them to the little private room and work out with them there because a lot of folks get so they feel like they're being watched and being judged or whatever, and they shut down. And so I tell people all the time, I said, people ain't paying attention to you. I said, if people enough on the same mission as you, you know what I'm saying? But people get caught up and look at the girl that's got the Gymshark on, goddamn Nike shit on, The slim girl, she ain't doing no kind of working out. She just in that bitch doing like 2 little curls, and then she doing the endorsement deal and shit. She doing endorsement because like most of the girls be sponsored by them companies so they can like look good in their clothes. But like for the average person, people get so intimidated. They see the guy lifting the big weights, like, or they see the guy squatting the heaviest weight on, and this dudes like me. I have another guy. He's like, I can't go to the gym. I feel embarrassed. I'm like, man, fuck them people. Yeah. Go to the gym.
But I think like, it's. So, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, fuck the people. Like, don't ever put yourself looking at, I can't work out because he or she looking at me. Fuck them people. Put your headphones in, put some trap music on, and then get that shit popping. Okay.
I definitely think that your approach, though. So notice that even though you're saying this, you're also saying I did accommodate my client, so that way they don't feel that shame. And I think there's a lot of, because the thing is, you can say all this, and I can tell this to myself even, but I know that feeling of shame. You know, it's a really deep feeling, especially if you walk around. If you're an overweight person who feels a way about it, it's like you walk around with that shame literally all day, every day. Till this day, I don't like eating in front of people because I just feel like people are judging me because of what I'm eating, right? Even if it's just my little cheat day meal or whatever it is, they don't know that, right? So my mind goes, I don't want to eat ice cream in front of people. They're going to say, look at this big, fat, disgusting girl eating ice cream. Now that's in my head. Nobody's not even thinking about me eating ice cream. So my point is just, I think sometimes because that feeling of shame is so deep into us, it makes it really hard to get past it, to go to the gym. I do think it's something we do have to get past. Like I got my gym membership. Well, I got my 5-day pass. I'm gonna get a membership, but I still haven't had the guts to get into the gym. I got gym shoes and everything, and I'm still feeling nervous about going to the gym. Right? So I get it.
Don't ever the thing about it. The gym, like for me, I tell people all the time, the gym for me is like a sanctuary. Like I find me a playlist, and then I have in my mind what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna do full body, upper body, legs, or just core and cardio. And then I can be here for an hour or 2 hours. All right, let's lock it in. But some people go in there like, oh shit, he looking at me. They're looking at me. I try to tell people like, bro,
I wear raggedy. When I was going to the gym, I wear raggedy clothes to the gym. My shirt be having holes in it. I don't give a fuck.
Like for me, I gotta rep the set. But like the thing about it, like when I go to the gym, I go wearing like new shoes, like workout clothes, because I represent my brand, but also I want to look good and feel good. Because we taking a picture, like shit, I want to show my new shit, and like make sure people like see that a big nigga really out here working, but also looking good while doing it. You know what I'm saying? But
I think that's a great mentality to have, though. I think because one thing I love about you is that you always have these dope coping skills that that are your thing, that I don't know if you realize are actually just in the mental health world, we would call those coping skills, right? So instead of studying the focusing on the outside, is taking things back inside. I got my music, I'm inside, I feel good. I want to wear things that make me feel good. Because at the end of the day, this is about me. This is my sanctuary. This is my space. I think that's a great way to think about it. I actually just ordered some really cute clothes from Fabletics. So I was like, if I am gonna go to the gym, I'm like you. If I'm gonna go, I gotta be in a way where I feel comfortable and I feel like I look good.
See, Fabletics gonna fit you because you got the ideal type for Fabletics. I had tried to get some Fabletics. I'm a big guy. I have tree trunks for legs, and I try to get the highest size for the shorts. They feel like I got a medium on. So Fabletics, get your shit together. That's why I have. I'm always
working on
Nike. It. They better, but like with clothes, the biggest thing, like that's why I have my own shit. Like on the back of my shirt, got Burley Boys. Like it's representing for my big guys. Like I represent. Like even on Twitter, like Vita knows, I got a whole following of big boys. Either we working out, we talking shit, we appreciating black women. We talk, this. You got 2 million, but like we we just talk our shit because growing up as a bit boy, you used to be the last one to get picked. I never forget, like I told somebody, I was like, when I was in grade school, and how like you the house phone era where you had to call the girl on the house phone, and try to fit your game to it. And so this was like this post puberty, like, yeah, my voice getting a little deep now, so I can talk that shit. So like I on the phone talking my shit, and then the first day of school, we're gonna meet about a bus loop and all stuff like that. And so at this time I was shorter, I was chubbier, but I had a little bit of confidence because like during that time, that's when Biggie came out, Heavy D was popping. So I'm you know what I'm saying? And I got off the bus and I met Shawty, and then she like, oh no, you too short and you fat. And she walked off, said, eh. And so the biggest thing, the biggest thing is that a lot of people get so caught up in how they look in like to other people. And so for me, I try to show people like, bruh, I'm a big guy, but I'm gonna make this shit look sexy as fuck. I don't care.
You got that
you know
confidence.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta have the confidence. And so a lot of people get so caught up in trying to, oh, they'll look good to her, they'll look good to him, especially with having my female clients. I tell them, hey, put that shit on. Look, wear it. Go to the gym. Like, get fine. Do it for you, because like we got the gym. You wanna feel good about yourself and making sure that you're doing your shit. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people get so caught up in trying to please other people. And we on your fitness journey, it's just you and I always say me versus me. You look in that mirror, if you don't like how you look, you're like, shit. When I first started out, I'm like, damn, I don't look pleasing to myself. What I gotta do? Okay, I gotta do more cardio, I gotta do more strength training, I gotta eat better and like sleep better, get a better prayer life and get my mind together, because it's you have to really focus and get yourself together. A lot of people get so caught up in trying to lift the heaviest weight, run the fastest time, or get the most laps in 30 minutes. And that's cool, but how are you gonna feel after the fact?
Like
and
shit.
So a lot of exactly. So it's a lot of people out here who do this fitness. They look at social media, they see them people on there trying to sell these dreams. Like I tell people, don't fall for them images on Instagram. Do not do it. Them girls got off that table and trying to sell, nutrition plans. I'm like, that's get that fucking shit. Got here. Don't sell.
Now T is on you on a you're not vegan, are you, T? Or are you vegetarian?
No, I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for a couple of months before, but this is my second time being vegetarian. I was like vegetarian for like a year before. Then one Thanksgiving I fell off, and then it ended up being a year. But now I'm back on the vegetarian stuff. But like for me, mainly, it wasn't really about losing weight or anything. Like I just had too many digestive problems with meat. Like meat was just jacking me up all the time, and I really like fried chicken. Like that's my thing, and I just said, you know what, it's not worth it. I just can't. I can't stand like waking up feeling like there's a big like knot in my stomach. Like fried chickens and brisket were like my two favorite things, and I just had to give them. But I'll say, since I've done it, man, I have like a whole lot of energy. Like I've lost like 10 pounds since I've done it, so that is a bonus. But it was really primarily for me just about the digesting part.
What else have you changed in your diet? Because there's no way that just not eating meat does that. You have to be doing some other stuff.
It definitely
Are you eating
does.
more plants, or are you eating more vegetables or something? Or you just...
I mean, I always ate vegetables and stuff, but when you eat less meat, you naturally eat more vegetables anyway. Yeah. Unless you're someone who's going to replace it with bread or something, which I'm not. Like,
right?
Like I never ate that much bread. I never ate that much bread anyway.
The other meat.
Yeah, exactly.
So you fill up more on more vegetables just naturally because you're not eating meat.
Exactly, because I never ate a lot of carbs to begin with. I was never like a big. I mean,
that's the thing. I meet a lot of vegetarians and vegans who eat a lot of carbs and a lot of sugar. So they'll say they're vegan, vegetarian, and they don't lose anything.
Some of them even gain weight because they end up replacing the protein from the meat with more sugar. So I know some vegetarians actually like gain weight because they've replaced it with the sugar. But it's like I just I have protein shakes too to make up for the meat that I'm not eating. So I have like a little protein shake here and there. But I'm actually gonna rejoin the gym this coming week because I had a bunch of injuries, but they're all like healed up.
So that's real dope.
I think it's really important that people also understand that fitness is not just being in the gym. So I think, especially men, I hear this a lot from men though, like, oh, I'm fine, I'll go to the gym. and they don't think the nutrition part matters.
No, it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Can't drink Hennessy every weekend.
Time. and I live in Florida, and we're big on crab legs,
crawfish.
Goddamn. That's Louisiana. Louisiana.
Yeah, I saw a guy. It's somebody I know. They live in New Orleans, and they had like this. I mean,
spread
straight. Oh my God, just straight boil.
It's beautiful.
I mean, they was taking. I never seen that. I didn't know you could buy butter in that size.
Oh yeah. Wow!
It was like it looked like a gold bar, a brick, and just threw it in there. Whoop, alley-oop. Like, oh, okay, all right.
I lived in Louisiana. I lived out there for a minute, and when I said they take that crawfish serious out there,
yes,
serious. And so like how it is in Florida, like we're big on crab legs, like crabs, shrimp, like on every corner. If you go, in like Orlando, Tampa, Miami, you're gonna see a crab house. You're gonna see a seafood spot. You're gonna see a soul food spot.
Yeah.
The mom and pop stores. And so it's one of those things where you have to be mindful that you can't work out for a week or work out each day, and then after the gym go bust down a 10-piece or bust down
now check
2
this
pound.
out. I didn't want to cut you off, but check this out. Now, me and Vita both live on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I live in the Pacific Northwest. People would look at you crazy. First of all, we don't even have those kind of restaurants out here like that.
No,
but
in Portland for sure.
Yeah, the culture on the West Coast is if you don't work out or if you're not doing something nutritional, because I mean, there's a Whole Foods everywhere. There's a up here we call it New Seasons, but there's a Whole Foods. There's whatever. Like people are there's commercials on TV locally about exercise. You know what I'm saying? But also here's the race factor. Majority white people here.
I was just about to say, Kenny. You get that here, but in other areas. One thing I'll say about here is that we do have some Black-owned restaurants and that focus on nutrition, right? So we have out here we have Simply Wholesome. You guys have seen in a lot of rap videos at West Coast. It's like in everybody's West Coast rap video. We have Stuff I Eat. I'm shouting these people out because they're all Black-owned. Stuff I Eat out in Inglewood. So we have these things. The problem with some of those places though is that they're not open every day. Some of them are not open on Mondays, or they close early, or they're very crowded, and you can't. It's like you don't even have time because there's so few of them that they get kind of packed up. So it's like, we have a couple of these pockets, but it's nothing like outside of South Central, right? Because in South Central, I'll be like, if I'm up late, let's say it's 9:00. And in LA, if you want something healthy in LA, you'd have to be in a white neighborhood. There's nothing open that's healthy in LA, in South Central. Nothing. You got taco trucks, you got fast food. Fat burgers stay open till midnight, sometimes 1 a.m. In-N-Out, I think, stays open till 1 a.m.
Yeah, I think In-N-Out's open till 1 a.m. or something.
That's during the week. On weekend, it's 3 a.m., right? So these places are always accessible, and there's a bunch of them. They all go through. You can go to Postmates now and order through them, but it's not necessarily the same for the healthy spots. Whereas if I go to West LA, they have like a ton of vegan spots or healthy organic restaurants. And one of my favorite places is called Cafe Gratitude. It's a chain. There's no Cafe Gratitude here, and if they put one here, that's the sign that we're getting pushed out. So it's never. So it's kind of exactly
in West LA. It's like a bunch of like white women in like in workout tights, because that's how you always know you're in the healthy eating neighborhood. When you see just a bunch of white women in leggings,
Starbucks,
boba
tea.
You'll see that heavily in the marina and beach communities. So you'll see that like literally people wear workout clothes everywhere. Even at the grocery store, they'll be in workout clothes, like they just came from running outside.
Sometimes they even call it athleisure now. Like it's basically that's the new dress. That's the new dressing up. And if you see Sweet Green and Equinox around and Chopped, you know you're in the healthy eating zone.
The Chop Stop, Salad Farm, all those.
And it's funny you say that because growing up where I grew up in Gainesville, Florida, and so I always tell people the real Gainesville is when you pass by the University of Florida, and the University of Florida is on the east side of town. But if you go down a little bit further and pass by the public library, it's all niggas. It's all of us. The real Gainesville. We got you go on my side of town. You have the Whole Foods, the Relish Burgers, all the Blaze Pizzas, all the stuff that attracts the UF crowd. And then you go past that library, you got the liquor store the corner stove, goddamn food trucks like that sell the chicken wings, and like you would you would want to. But I always say if you're from the city, you know they're trying to push out all of us to the outskirts to try to appease the college students coming in year by year, and so it's depressing. It's sad because there are Black folks like myself who's in the fitness industry who push the importance of health, but it's hard because the typical person in Gainesville or the typical Black person, you either see them on the corner, you know what I'm saying? You see them drugged out or they look unhealthy, and they, you know, like even when I go shopping, my cart is full of color. Like, you know, got the peppers, you know, veggies of all sorts, you know, the salmon, the chicken breast, all the stuff that I'm supposed to be eating. And you look at my people next to me, they got the juicy juices, the goddamn Capri Sun, chips, you know, oatmeal pies, chip. And it's like, damn, bro, like you want to see a change, but when that's all you know,
it's gonna be hard.
It's gonna be hard. And so me being
worse
a
is
big
Costco.
guy,
Costco's the worst because everything there's family size. So it's like, you see like one guy with 100 Elio's pizzas. It's like, damn, dude, you need 100 of anything.
No, that's true.
I've
been to people's houses. They'll have like the whole pantry just full of cookies and crackers and nothing.
For the kids.
Yeah, not even whole grains, just garbage.
Even going shopping at a Whole Foods, I always feel this way when I go inside Whole. I feel like a fly in a bowl of milk because like it's not many of us in there. Because when I go in there, it's like, oh, look at that big nigga over there, you know, shopping. He's shopping healthy. I'm like, yeah. Because like I went to the guy last week and I said, hey, do you have the smoked salmon there? He's like, I said, yeah, I eat that shit too. Like I'm not here for the fried chicken in the goddamn, you know. But it's like
buffet prep.
You know, but it's like you would want to see change, and that's why I do what I do to show big guys like myself that, bruh, you ain't gotta fit the image of being a big guy and eating the bullshit that's being fed to us out here in the streets. Like you can go to the store and cook you know, some asparagus, some Brussels sprouts, you know, some and bake you some chicken. But some people, they fear that change because they're thinking, oh, that costs too much. But you go into the crab spot, busting down $60 for 2 pounds of crab, shrimp, corn, and sausages. You take that same money and go to the Publix or the Walmart and get you some meats, get you some veggies, and do that same thing. But people are scared of change because they're thinking like people gonna get picked on, or they're gonna feel like, oh, you're being judged. But like I'd rather people to eat better and to feel good about themselves, because you know back then that's a bust down. It's the Florida way. You're gonna get crabs. We have crab boils in the country, and you feel sluggish. You feel like you're like damn, I ate all that damn food. But like as opposed to eating something healthy, you're gonna feel like, okay, I feel good. I'm content. I'm satisfied. And so a
lot of it's instant gratification too, because like I'll say when I stopped eating meat for the past couple of months, nothing I eat gives me any immediate pleasure anymore. Like there's nothing where I'm eating it, I'm like, damn, I can't wait to eat that shit. Like it doesn't happen anymore. But
I feel you not like anything else. Like what are you talking about?
No, because everything I eat now is just like a bunch of vegetables. Like it's not like it's hard to get really excited about it, but I feel better in the long run. But there's nothing like a big rack of ribs or something where I'm gonna like feel that immediate gratification like a drug. You know what I'm saying? Like because it's like a drug when you eat bad. Like you can have a bad day. You can have a bad day, and then you eat like a big thing of chicken or a nice juicy burger, and like the endorphins hit. Like you feel worse in the long run, but in that moment, it's like taking a hit of a crack pipe when you eat really good food.
I think that's actually a really good point, and I also people need to know this. I kind of want to take the conversation around health and fitness a little bit bigger, more than just individual choices. Of course, individual choices are important because this is the society that we live in. But the reality is a lot of the foods we've been eating, including the marinades that they put the meat in, including the syrups or the ingredients, all these things are put into our foods purposefully to get us addicted. And I'm not even exaggerating. Literally, there are scientists who sit in the lab, they test out certain flavors and certain foods, and they see which part of your brain lights up and which part gives you the biggest rush of dopamine. So that's really what it is. That's where that addiction comes from, right? So you're actually being worked against. Why this shit is legal even, I don't know. Because most of these chemicals are not healthy. They're very dangerous. And what they'll do is they'll fortify them with vitamins. So they'll put synthetic vitamins into the food and tell you, well, now it has vitamins in it and now it's nutritious. But those synthetic vitamins actually disrupt your body's natural systems. They're not supposed to be in there. Right. So it's interesting that we're actually being, I believe, it's like we have so much working against us. And not even just Black people. It just happens to hit us the hardest. Black communities and poor communities the hardest, for sure, like everything. But in general, as an American society, we don't, they keep worrying about, like, so we care about the obesity rates. No, the fuck they don't. Because if if they did, 90% of the food on the shelves would not be there. Not because in a lot of other countries, a lot of the shit that's in our food is illegal. There's chemicals in our foods that are illegal. They don't put fortified vitamins in France in their food. They don't. That's why they can eat bread and not have to worry about gaining weight, because their bodies naturally have the proper systems to burn the fat and the sugars that they're supposed to.
But their portion control is different too. Like we'll eat like a big loaf of bread in like a sitting. They don't do that. Why? Because they don't have the same bullshit in the food making you addicted, giving you that instant gratification. What's the cheapest, quickest high you can get in America? Seriously. What's the quickest, cheapest high you can get in America? Sugar.
Food. Yeah. Exactly. It's everywhere and it's cheap.
But like what T was saying with portion, like you can go on Instagram and it'll be some account where they got a hamburger where the buns is made out of donuts.
Yes.
I'm not making this up.
It's called the Luther. It's called the Luther. It has a name.
The buns is a donut.
Account. Are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then it's got two patties on it, bacon, cheese,
all that shit.
But this is the reality, though. As bad as that is, majority of people don't eat that all the time. Like that. No. We know that's bad. That's more like a novelty thing.
Yeah.
The problem is the day-to-day foods that we think are okay to eat, or we're eating in excess. Like pasta isn't bad, bread isn't bad, but like T pointed out, it's the portion control. The problem is our shit has added stuff into it, making it so you keep eating it. Another thing that I learned from reading, I've been reading a lot of these nutrition books. They have things like natural flavors and artificial flavors. What they do is they extract the flavor of a fruit or vegetable or whatever, or chicken or whatever it is, and they put it in something else that has none of those nutrients in it, right? So your body says, I need the nutrients that's in a strawberry. That's why you crave a strawberry. Flavor plays a specific role in identifying what nutrients are in your food. We don't even know that, but that's the truth. So now your brain says, I need that nutrient that's in a strawberry. But now you're craving strawberry flavor.
Yeah.
You eat strawberry ice cream instead, or strawberry candy, or strawberry syrup. Exactly, strawberry syrup.
The stuff you put on the ice cream, the strawberry syrup.
Exactly,
it's good too.
So fire. Look, nigga, it's my favorite. But anyway,
I can't eat ice cream, so that's on y'all. Y'all got that.
Yeah.
But either way, but my point is just that the flavor was taken out of the strawberry and put into something unhealthy. So now you're eating it and eating it and eating it. Your body's looking for that nutrient. So that's why we overeat a lot of things, because the nutrient isn't hitting. Our stomachs are second in command. So when it's so once our brain has the full control, but what happens when we eat is the stomach decides where the nutrients are supposed to go. So if it's trying to keep extracting those nutrients is telling your brain, I don't have enough yet. And your brain, you sit up there with your dumb ass, garbage. Look, I'm calling us dumb. We're not dumb. I'm joking. But you get what I'm saying? Like we're just sitting there gobbling this shit down, overeating like a motherfucker, because our brains don't have the signal that no, you have enough. Because it hasn't had enough of the nutrient it's actually fucking looking for.
But that's just what T said, what Kenny said is, and what you say, it's what's offered to us. And so you in West LA, you got all the stuff that you got, the Whole Foods, the whatever else is out there, the boba teas, the shop, the shack, the Shake Shacks, all that's on that side. As we call you go to Compton, you ain't got that in Compton. You're not having that in East Oakland. That's just what it is. But like And that's how it is in Florida. Like you're gonna have your spots in Florida, and like in Orlando, Gainesville, Tampa, Tallahassee, Miami. Even those other areas of the city or state. Is that you're gonna have those sections where you have your good foods, your popular you see on TV, the commercialized shops, and then you have the corner store food, the liquor store. You have all stuff that's accessible to
Yes.
to the economic status. So like if the you know
And some
not
places
trying to
don't
pick on
even
them.
have grocery stores. That's the other thing.
What
Exactly.
they call food deserts.
They shut down the grocery. I
Exactly.
told y'all they shut down grocery stores in my neighborhood, right? They don't even
Yeah,
have
really?
like, yeah.
Why
So
did they
it's
replace
that's
them with?
nothing. There's no store there.
Oh, damn.
Just
don't
liquor
have a
store.
store.
That's how it
You
is.
gotta travel.
That's how it is.
You gotta
go get it.
Yeah, I gotta go to the
You
other
gotta
side
drive
of.
to go get it.
I gotta go to another community, or I gotta go to the 7-Eleven because that's the closest thing, or CVS, or someplace that's convenient if I don't have enough time to go across town. So that's just
Exactly.
kind of that's the reality of it. But what I love about what you do, and even what we're talking about here, is that you still have to navigate through that until those policies change, which they might not, until they stop targeting our communities, which I likely doubt will happen. We still have to do the day-to-day. We still have to figure out how to navigate that world. And I think that's where it gets a little challenging, but I think it can also feel overwhelming. I think focusing on weight is overwhelming because you go, I have to lose 50 pounds, right? Okay, that feels so stressful versus, yo, I just want to feel good in the morning.
And so with clients, they were like, Coach Don, I want to lose 20. I want to lose 30. I lose 40. I'm like, bro, do not focus. Like you told me, I want to lose 50 pounds. I'm like,
yep. You were like, why are we talking about that? We ain't no scale.
We're not talking about numbers because people get on these scales. They think, oh, I feel good. I look good. I'm going to hop on a scale. And the scale ain't even moved. Because it's like, you setting yourself up for failure. Now you pissed off. Now you aggravated. Now you like, oh, this shit ain't working. Then in reality, when you put your the old clothes on, it's gonna fit baggier. You walk past the mirror, you're like, oh shit, I did. It's all about the inches, losing inches, and gaining that confidence. And so a lot of people get caught up in having these big numbers. And that's why when I'm gonna lose 100 pounds. I'm gonna do this, that, the third. But then when that scale don't say I lost 20 pounds, I'm like, damn. I'm fucking up somewhere. But then you just got to keep going. And so people get caught up in trying to lose weight. My birthday is in October. It's August 1st. Let me lose weight.
Got to get right for the summer.
Weddings.
And then weddings, summer. And so like
trips to Chicago.
It's seasonal. Like people get so caught up in trying, like it's January 1st. Oh, I got to get right for the summer, or spring break, or I got to get right for the summer. And I'm like, you get right for the summer, and then it get cold outside, and then what? You get that shit right back on. You know what I'm saying? So like I tell people, build a habit of being consistent and not building a habit of trying to look good by a certain target. Don't
get right for life.
Get right for life, exactly. Because you're trying to look good for a season. It's motherfuckers out here working out in the blistering cold. You know what I'm saying? It's people out here. Like last year during the lockdown was a perfect example because like my brother, when I started my business, we couldn't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And people, during the pandemic, everybody was on lockdown. Nobody could go nowhere, and everybody was either stress eating or all they did was they gained weight. And so my brother, he was like, "Hey, you got this business going. You can't be a product of what's out there. So we going outside. Not supposed to be outside, but we going outside to the park." To the football stadium, working out, building our own gym in the backyard, and just making something happen until the gyms open up. And so when everything opened back up, it's just like clockwork. You're going back into it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a consistent basis. You cannot get yourself psyched up. Oh, it's January 1st. Shit, by July, I'm gonna look like this.
Well, life happens. And the hard thing about it is because we're coming into fall and winter. This is where the real work comes in, because this is where the months where we eat a lot.
Yes.
The months where you can't go outside because it's cold.
Everybody got candy and cookies.
Yep.
Halloween.
So this is where your
Thanksgiving,
discipline
Christmas.
comes in. Your discipline.
And so, exactly. And so, like I already have in my mind when it started getting cold in Florida. It don't get cold like that, like how up there, but like
65 degrees. I'm hating over here.
A blistering 65.
Uh-oh.
See, that's what he get. That's what he get. That's what he get. That's what he get.
Shit. Oh, there you go. Here you go.
Dang, he ain't pay the bill. But
was hating on that weather.
No, he was talking shit, and that's what happens.
But like being in the blistering cold, 65 degrees. But like people get so caught up in trying to like, oh, it's too cold outside. Like I already have in my mind, because in Florida it's hot as fuck now. When it get cold, that's when you gotta lock yourself in that gym. Or I have my brothers. My brother got his own personal gym. We gonna get in there. I have my own gym membership at Crunch. I'm gonna get in there and lock myself in because I have to represent for my company. I cannot not be out of shape and be like, all right, guys, my name is Coach Dom, and here's how I lose weight. I'm looking chunky as fuck and looking crazy. I have to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like a financial advisor, and he's driving like a hoopty, and he's got a raggedy suit. Yeah.
And I have my client that's, Miss Vita. I can't be like, come on, Vita, and I'm over here snacking on. You know what I'm saying? And so
I get
it's
what
all about.
Yeah.
You got to represent for yourself. You got to make sure that you are.
Like, how do we know we can do it if we don't see you doing it? Right? It feels
and
almost.
That is why.
It feels like, well, if it's impossible for him and he know all this shit, it's damn sure impossible for me. I don't know shit.
I salute Kenny for bike riding. These tree trunks are not built for bikes. Okay? I can't do it. Even the stationary bikes, I cannot do it. I will run. I will walk. Yes, but riding a bike, if I get a bike, it's got to be the big ones that can
with the
hold.
Big top. Yeah.
It's got to hold all this because it's a freight train. I can't. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't ride a kind of bike.
I can't do bike riding because I really hate bicycle seats. Even when people try to tell me, even when I had a seat change and I still didn't like riding on the bicycle. Yeah. It's just not comfortable. It's not my thing.
And also
I've done it.
Yeah, but then also another thing with bike riding, you can get a lot of injuries from bike riding that are a bitch. Your back, shoulders. I end up spraining my thumb riding a bike. I had to go to the doctor and get x-rays. My thumb swelled up like a fucking piece of dynamite. My back was screwed up. Like you go to bed, wake up, your back just winds up. I mean, it'll wind up, so there's a lot of downside that they don't tell people about when it comes to riding bikes anyway. So
I salute y'all because y'all be on it.
Yeah, something about the people afraid of people looking at them in the gym. The irony of that is like people don't really look at the people out of shape and the people not lifting a lot of weights because most people are in their own world. The only time like I've ever been in the gym and seen people look at other people is usually like that girl with like the Instagram body or that guy putting up like 3 plates. You're like, is that dude really gonna put up like 3 or 4 plates on each side? Like the people who are doing like the crazy stuff is who people usually look at. Like if you're out of shape or lifting lightweight, people ain't really looking at you like that.
That's paying you no mind.
Yeah,
and it's always them guys like.
But
that.
I think the challenge, I'll say for myself, I am gonna go to the gym though. I'll just have to get myself there. But the challenge is like what you're saying, T, could be accurate. Right? 100% accurate. But the trauma of having been bullied about your weight is real, right? Yeah. So even though in the present, that's not the case, right? But if you're still operating out of the past, which is what trauma is. So just for most people who might not understand, trauma is literally the past intruding on the present, right? So I like books. You guys are right, absolutely right. And I'm going to do my damnedest to get to the gym. And at the same time, that mental hold is super real, right? In my mind, it feels like everybody's watching me because there have been multiple times out in my life people have judged me for my weight out loud, right? I think I told you guys this. I was walking down the street I was actually walking through a parking lot and this guy literally pulled up to me and said, walking around looking like that ain't gonna change the fact that you're a big, ugly motherfucker. Out of nowhere. So this is my life, right? So, but when you fucked up in the head and got low self-esteem and you've experienced similar things literally since you were a teenager, you can tell me all the shit you want in the world. But getting to the gym, that's in my head, I'm still feeling that feeling I felt when people would humiliate me in public about my weight. So, because I think sometimes we think it's because not everybody, but I think sometimes we don't understand how real that fat shaming is. And how real the discrimination there is when you're fat. Like, that's a real thing. People talk shit about it on Twitter. It's not a real thing. But it's a real thing. When you experience that shit, it's a real fucking thing.
I used to get picked on when I was younger. And so, like, it's one of those flights or fight modes where like either you gonna bitch and moan about it or you gonna defend yourself. And so like now, when people say slick shit or back, that tweet you talking about earlier, I be like, okay. Like my initial response to everything now is like, man, fuck you.
So what built that? What built that confidence in you? Like, how did you get from the kid that wasn't getting picked or getting picked last to being the man that's taking selfies at the gym and telling us how fine he is on Twitter every day?
Yes, sir. Nah, but it came over time because, like I said, growing up, I grew up in the country. All you see is thickums. You got grandmas, mama, cousins, sisters. Everybody in the family is thick. However, you have your cousin who plays sports. Like I told you the last time, like most of my cousins played in the NFL or they played in the NBA or they had some kind of athletic background. So it's either you're gonna sit your ass down and eat snacks and get fat. As my cousin used to tell me when I was younger, he was like, all you doing is eating snacks and getting fat. So all you do is you hear that growing up, like, you fat fucker, you big as hell. And so it's like, I go, my mama, he pick it up and she be like, he not saying that, he not doing that. And she don't know no better because she's trying to build that, fight. She's trying to have that whole like defend yourself mode. She's like, I can't save you every time when somebody pick on you. So like going to the grade school, you getting called you chubby, you fat fucker. It's funny now, but you fat fucker, or nobody gonna date you, you ugly, da 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 da. And so you hear this as a kid, you like, damn, am I ugly? Am I fat? And then as you get older, you going through the ranks of middle school and then high school, being told the same thing. And then, like I told Vita, I told my brother was talking about it. I was like, we had the biggies, the heavy D's, and then that nigga Rick Ross came out of nowhere. And then
from Florida.
This is like a true story. Cause like I never forget in high school, and the song Hustle came on, was in the locker room. I was like, who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? And then I saw the video, like, oh shit, that's a big nigga that look like me. And he rapping and got the women. I'm like, okay. This was like that song came out 08, 07. No. Showing my age right now, but like he came out like during like that 10th grade, 11th grade year, and I was like that time, like I'm trying to figure out, like, damn, am I really gonna get that? Like, you playing sports, I played sports to try to get attention, but I did sports to relieve myself from, like, I used to get bullied, and so I played sports to like knock niggas' heads off, just for free. Like, if you fight in school, you get suspended, or you getting sent home. So like, I play sports just to, like, if I get picked on in class, or I get picked on on the bus in the lunchroom, I can take that same aggression like the water boy and knock somebody's head off with the instance. But like when Ross came out, I was like, okay, that's a big guy. He looked good, and he a big guy, but he got all the women. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And so I got to college, and that's when we started getting more attention. Like, oh, you cute, you fine. I'm like, me? Cap, you lying. And so, like, I grew up like not hearing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a growing up in the country, oh, you fine, you handsome. But like, you don't feel handsome because you don't look a certain image. Because like back then, it was the Shamar Moore ass niggas.
I'm glad you said that, but you gotta remember, let's keep it real. Real life compared to Instagram is different because all these girls be dating brothers that look like me, you, and T. They don't be dating Shamar Moore.
And that is look like Kermit the Frog, you know what I'm saying?
They always, you see it on Twitter, they always talk about, oh, I like brothers that's, because they used to do those little, I remember when I was on Twitter, they used to put them little things up, which type of body style do y'all like? They never picked the Shamar Moore body style dude.
Nobody likes that shit. Let's just be let's just be real. Let me just say this right now.
Yeah,
I know very few women who actually like that. It looks good on TV. Like, that's fine. Yeah. But in reality, it's not. Most people, first of all, most guys don't even look like that, And most of the time, your confidence is more attractive than anything. There are really good looking guys with no confidence, and that shit is such a turn off. It almost makes them ugly, right?
Yeah.
So it's not even about the body type. It could be short, you could be tall, you could be big, you could be small. I guarantee you there'll be a lot of women that are still physically attracted to you. You know, like that's still I think that it's like, I think even with guys, like you get told all the time that guys only like this particular thing. You watch this thing on TV, they tell you this is what men want. All the magazines, when I was a girl coming up, they all told me what the men liked, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, even the men's magazines, like the black men's magazines, well, now they didn't have the same weight requirement necessarily.
Right.
But now all the girls are getting surgeries to look like the old King models, right?
Right. Kim Kardashian effect.
Exactly. But the reality is, if you walk around in life, most couples do not look like Instagram models.
Hell no. No.
Most of them look like regular people, like the four of us on this thing right here, right? Yeah. Most of them don't have perfect bodies. There are people who are struggling with their weight just like we are. There are people who, you know, are struggling with their self-esteem just like we might be, right? Yeah. So we have to get out of this mentality that everybody else is living this ideal life. Also, side note, stop idealizing everybody's relationships because they're celebrities or they look good. Like, you sound crazy.
Oh my God.
You don't know these people. Like, I'm like, nigga.
Beyonce has a lot of money that when she has a baby or whatever, she can spend all day training and getting back into shape. She ain't got to go to work at Xerox. And then get to the gym by 9 that night and then be up at 6 in the morning.
And still have to take care of her kids. She got people she hires and relatives that she hires to take care of her kids. So that's not even the same lifestyle. Don't compare yourself. You know, and I think we get but it's so hard not to when when you see the same images all the time. And I don't think these algorithms are an accident. There's no accident why Instagram literally shows me the same good-looking people over and over. Even if I'm not following them, I don't have to even be following them.
The Explore page will be like, damn, she fine, he fine, they find it. But it's like
everybody just fine.
Yeah, but it's like in reality, you like what you like, and like that's what it like. You know, the whole confidence thing. Because I remember back in grade school, like most of my girlfriends in high school and middle school, high school were all big women, thick girls. Like that's what I like. That's my preference. And so you growing up, all you date is big girls, y'all both. I'm like, but that's what I like. But your girl looked like a goddamn, she built like this, and she's skinny, but she's trying to say something about what I got going on. And so like even now, how the thick women are being glorified now, like big guys are now all of a sudden the fad. Like back then, y'all was not fucking with us. Quit capping. I like me a big guy.
That's not true. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'm gonna tell you why you don't know what you're talking about. I think, especially when you're young, we don't say a lot of things. Like there were guys, even my own experience, there were guys I had crushes on in high school that did not know. And they're like, why didn't you say anything? So I didn't think you liked me. Come to find out them same niggas like me, right? I even had guys that told me, oh, I liked you so much in high school. And I believe literally the entire time that no guy liked me. I believed that with all of my heart. Did not know there were actually a few. I never thought, because guys were mean to me. Guys were fucked up to me. So I didn't fucking know. So you never really know. So I could say, well, guys weren't into those kind of girls then. Maybe they were. They just weren't telling you. You know, maybe there were girls who was feeling you back then. But when you're a teenager, you're nervous, especially, you know what I mean? You're nervous, and you're probably also thinking about what your other friends might think, just in general, right?
That was big. That was a big one. Yeah.
So and remember, your number one thing in your adolescence, the number one thing on your brain is acceptance. Everybody denies it. They're like, oh no, I wasn't like that as a kid. Yes, the fuck you were.
Yeah,
all of us were. All of us were that. You know?
Yeah.
And it's natural and it's okay. It's not a bad thing. But I think sometimes we think other people weren't checking for us because of our perspective at the time. You don't know what girls was looking. I heard guys I had a crush on that still don't know to this day that I had a crush on. So
listen, it'd be funny when you see people in public. They're like, "Oh my gosh, no, look at you! You look. I had a crush on your house." I'm like, "Then why the fuck you ain't say nothing?" Because back in grade school, I was like, "Damn, the cheerleader, she was fine as hell. She wouldn't like me because I'm fat as fuck." But like now, it's one of those things now where it's like, listen, what you see is what you get.
And you don't count yourself out. You don't reject yourself for them anymore, right? Like that's what I think that's what we do when we have, self-confidence issues, or we have been conditioned to believe that who we are or what we look like is bad. When you've been conditioned to believe that, you automatically reject yourself. Like I don't talk to guys, right? Like I don't flirt. I'm not that person because that fear of rejection. So I've rejected myself before even giving him a chance to reject me anyway, right? And I think sometimes we reject ourselves. We count ourselves out. We just assume And we don't know what people might like or what they might be interested
in. Even now, I see tweets on Twitter. They were like, guys, have you ever felt like a girl out of your league? I'm like, shit, no. Like, it's one of those things where you have to build that confidence. Like, nobody's out of my league. Back then, yeah, I was scared to talk to the girl that was cute or pretty. Now, it's about like confidence. You gotta have that confidence about you. You gotta have that drip, that swagger about you. It's got to be in you and not on you. You can't. You have to have that persona. Like, shit, I can get her. I can definitely get her. And like that, like 2 Chainz said, young enough to be your old enough to be your daddy, old enough to fuck your mama. Like, I can get your mama, you, or it don't matter, your grandma.
But that's the confidence that women are going to find attractive, regardless of what size you are, right? Like, Biggie wasn't always rich, but he still had women,
Fat, he even said it fat and ugly as ever. However,
right. Boom, right?
Yo, on a side note, what happened to 2 Chainz? You mentioned 2 Chainz, and I just realized I ain't heard from him in years, right?
He gonna be on the Kanye West album.
Oh yeah, okay. Is it me or has he been kind of laying low?
He on Instagram. He's doing stuff with his family. He ain't worried about music right now.
Oh, got you.
He just chilling.
Fetty Wap is another one. That's a guy who was everywhere. Suddenly, I stopped seeing him.
Yeah, his daughter had passed this week, so he.
Oh, sucks.
Yeah.
Well, whose daughter passed?
Fetty Wap.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Lost his little daughter. But yeah, it's confidence. You gotta have it. It's gotta be in you. And you, as a woman, you want a man that come to you and be like, hey, my name is so and so, and not be hey, my name is. You want somebody to come to you and speak to like with some respect, like, hey, my name is Dominique. I own this. I got this going on. What's your name? And have that conversation. And it's all about communicating properly. It's all about having that bravado, like, hey, like, I ain't here to bullshit you. Don't bullshit me. But that's with social media, you see it. Everybody on the timeline talk all that good shit on the timeline, and then you get them in that DM, they fold like a lawn chair because everybody talk big on the timeline, but then you get them. You talk to them on the phone. It's boring conversation while you doing all that talking on the TL, but now it's the math ain't mathing. So when folks meet me, I'm the same person. You see the same person offline,
the exact
online.
Same person.
I keep it 100 because like it's why would I lie about how I represent myself or who I am. Like, I know what I bring to the table. I know what I offer. I can bring to somebody. And if a girl feel that presence, they gonna fuck with you. If she feel like you can't protect her, or you can't provide for her in a sense, or be there to be her comfort, those girls ain't gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I try to tell.
In other words, you gotta leave that incel energy at home.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that it's funny because I feel like people present themselves as being, tough and strong online. I would never let a nigga do this, or I wouldn't do this, or I would be this, or I would be that. And I realize a lot of these niggas be lying because some shit don't even be human reactions. I just be like, it's totally okay for you to cry if your boyfriend cheats on you. You don't have to act like you're gonna shoot him every time because you might feel like it, but you're not gonna do shit. Let's stop pretending. But it's people. Everybody wants to make like this super tough or super sexy or super whatever persona. And that thing about that shit don't last. That shit don't last at all. That facade goes away. That's why it's important to be confident who you actually are. So when people actually meet the real you, they're getting you, and they know you're confident in you because you didn't front and give them some other person. And
so that's what I try to tell like my guys who I have a group chat with, and just like my big guys on the timeline, like it's okay to be vulnerable. Like I'm a big, strong nigga. I can lift the heaviest weight. I can do all that, but I have a sensitive side too. I have a vulnerable side. I let that be known to people I meet or who I date because, you see me slinging 400 pounds on the bench and running up a goddamn hill, but I like to be, coddled. I like to talk. I can communicate whenever I'm having a rough day. I'm not gonna shut down. But I'm rough and tough. I ain't gonna cry. If I feel like I'm having a fucked up day, I'm like, baby, listen, my mind all fucked up. Can you help me with A, B, C, D, E, F, G? But like a lot of these guys have to understand, like it's okay to be let these girls know that you, don't be a pussy. Can't be that. Don't do that.
There's a difference between being a pussy and being vulnerable with your partner. They're not the same thing.
And when a girl see that you being pussy, she ain't gonna fuck with you like that. But like if you are like confident within yourself and she know that you hold your own, she gonna follow your lead. But a lot of these guys, they like to pump themselves to be like, oh, I'm this guy, respect me type stuff. And these guys will be hitting on shit. They just sound tough, and then that person, they'll bitch up quickly. So when I see people talk shit to me on the timeline, when they say whatever, like, you say that, bro. Like you ain't built like that for real.
Like I can imagine, like, especially when you look at how people talk about bigger people on the timeline or whatever. How many of those same people could even be in the gym? You know what I'm saying? How many of those same people can even eat the way that we've been eating, right? So people just be on there talking shit because they just have nothing better to do, and they themselves have accomplished nothing.
I've been serving humble pie for the past 2 years in the gym. I tell people who talk shit, I be like, come work out with me, or come join one of my workout sessions, or see what I do for real. And every time they tap out, because they think we're gonna do some bench pressing. Like, nah, we doing cardio, we doing full body. They going back to cardio, and then we go into core, and then we're gonna go home. But that's in a 2-hour span. Can you last 2 hours? Probably not. And so like, go ahead.
The cardio is where they're gonna quit.
Exactly. Like my brother, he's a former bodybuilder, and that motherfucker used to have me running like up and down hills or doing fast-paced cardio, doing the row machine, jumping 30 inches on the box, on the little box thing. So like I had to like, that's what that build that comes like, okay, if I can jump 30, oh shit, that's nothing. But like the biggest thing, a lot of people get so caught up in trying to like, they feel like they can say anything. Oh, I can do that. I never forget one time when I first started out with my business and I was like doing little promo videos. Some guy came on there and was like, your form is wrong, or that don't look like it's doable. And I just sent a reply, you do it then. Let me see you do it. And they get quiet. They either block you or they'll post an old ass video from like 6 5. I said, I need something right now. Like, take your ass to the gym, record yourself, and let me see you do it. They don't say nothing.
But it's good. I've got some shit to say about somebody else who's doing what they do. You know what I mean? Like, they can't just like say, "Oh, that's dope that you're doing that. How can I do that?" They got to try to hate. Like, why is that even necessary? I love encouraging people who inspire me.
And that's why I love what I do in my business. Like, now I get the messages in my DMs. Hey, bro, I love what you're doing. Represent for the big guys. How did you do it? What did you do? Can you help me? And so, and then when people hit me up, people get so like, oh my gosh, you responded to me. I didn't think you respond back. Like, baby, I am not famous. I'm a regular.
People do that, and I think do that to me too. And I never understood. Like, why would I respond?
And people are like, how much do I owe you to talk to me? I'm like, you asking for advice. I'm not going to charge you. That lets me know it's people out here.
But that's what they do.
They charge consultation, and they don't even help you. I haven't been through that, but I know people who've done that, and they didn't even get the help, even though they paid for the consultation.
When we met, you was like, how much the consultation? I'm like, free. Like,
just talking.
Yeah, you hit me up. You was like, I want to talk before we work out. How much did that cost? I'm like, you already paid for your session. We can talk 30 minutes before, and then we can get it working out for an hour. I don't mind talking because I try to build a rapport with my clients before we even get started. Like how we met. We talked for a whole 30 minutes before we even got to the actual workout, so I can see who you are, what you're trying to do, what's your goals, and where you're trying to go in life, because it's deeper than trying to just lose a certain pound. And we have, during our session, we either will talk for like 30 minutes or we'll work out for like 10, and we talking the whole hour. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that rapport. So some days you may not feel like working out. There's some days you want to, I bust your ass for 30 minutes, and then like, Dom, I got this, that, and the third going on. Oh, okay. Now coach has off. Now therapist has on. So what is going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And I think that's the part people miss. In order to really dominate your health, I'm using your words, dominate your fitness, dominate your health, is the mind. It's the mindset. It's how you think about yourself. It's how you think about what you're doing moving forward. And I love that that's your focus. What are some practices people could have mentally before a workout? Maybe they've never exercised. Maybe they're like me, didn't exercise, hate exercise, don't feel the motivation. How can they begin mentally to get themselves motivated?
I'm gonna go cliche because I'm deep in the South and
if it works, it works. I don't care if it's cliche.
I mean, prayer,
realness, prayer.
You gotta. I like before every workout I do, before I get on the phone with one of y'all, I pray, so I can have like this. Okay, today you never know what can happen. Like that one day we had talked the whole time. I had to get myself mentally prepared for that because whenever I'm a trainer, I take on your energy, your vibe. So I have to mentally prepare myself, physically prepare myself, spiritually prepare myself to accept what you're giving me and not have it affect me negatively. I have to be like, okay, she's telling me how this, that, and the third with family, mentally, what you have found out recently. So it's like, okay, let me put that hat on and give the positive advice, not be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I could say. I don't know. Like it's some trainers out here that don't want to hear what you got going on out life.
Nope.
Me, I've been through all that. Like we went through, we lost family members to health issues. Mother had overcame breast cancer. Dad overcame goddamn what it was, prostate cancer. I fought and I beat COVID. So it's like I can't be like, oh, yeah, I ain't trying to hear all that shit. So let's work out. And so I try to create as an environment to where like, if you fucked up, talk to me. If you don't feel like working out, okay, take the day. Like you have to, I don't have it today. Okay. Have a good night.
I love your answer. Prayer. And I also want to say this for people who might not be religious or have a spiritual belief in that regard. That's exactly what I was about to say. Prayer and meditation is basically the same thing, right? Because in fact, in the Bible, they say pray and meditate. Don't just pray. Right? So if you don't necessarily pray, you get your mind right beforehand. And I love that also because that's literally how my weight loss journey even began. I did not start with just working out. I didn't even try to diet yet. I literally started doing affirmations every day for 50 minutes, literally repeating the same sentence. And they work. People don't believe it, but it literally works. Go on YouTube or something, find whatever type of affirmations you need, repeat them over and over and over again. And literally what it does is it reprograms your subconscious. This isn't magic. It's not voodoo or nothing. It's literally just reprogramming your subconscious brain. Now, that's how I started, and I started meditating after that. And it literally, right away, I lost 20 pounds in a month, like without even trying. I didn't have a diet plan. I had none of that. All I literally did was meditate. And naturally, my body just got in the space it needed to be in to do what it needed to do. I began to crave the healthier things. I didn't even, unlike T, I actually had the cravings for healthy shit. I actually had the craving for salads and bullshit like that, right?
You had to create the habit.
Exactly. So mentally, absolutely.
That's why I say fitness is 80% mental, 20% physical, because for myself, I have friends who give me like advice to do spiritual cleanses and like read my scriptures and meditate before, a prayer before, read the scriptures, and then meditate afterwards. Because with being a business owner within itself, stressful as a motherfucker. It's hard. It's tough because it's days you up, days you down to the motherfucking ground, and it's days I'm about to take this motherfucking shirt off and fuck this shit. I'll go back to corporate America. But like at the same time, it's like I work too hard to give up. I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this. So, and with that, I had to give everything I have problems with. I give it up to my dog upstairs. Or if I'm not having a good day, I have to like really shut myself down, get out my head, and pray, meditate. Put on some soft music, or go outside and just smell the fresh air and just breathe and decompress, because people get so caught up like life within itself. We got so much going on with the pandemic, the Delta, family shit going
people
on.
Losing their jobs, literally today. People are still losing their jobs. Yes,
the pandemic showed you, one, these jobs are gonna fuck about you. And two, if you don't have a prayer life, a meditation life, or something, who you connect with, whoever you serve, whatever, you got to make sure that you are good up here and straight here, because if you fucked up in both these departments, you done. That's it. You lost.
You're a walking car wreck.
You and then it showed when the world first shut down, we had to stay our ass in the house. Like, it was people that came out the pandemic when it was open. People gained weight. People, start losing their health, losing their fucking mind.
That's stress.
Stress will beat your ass up. And there was days where I had to because the pandemic, I started my business in February, and then the following month was on lockdown. And so downtown, like, shit, did I do this at the right time? And so I'm trying to gather my thoughts and trying to run the business by myself with no help, being a one-man band. We have the tools, because I was taught by my cousin who put me in a position to be a trainer. I'm like, what do I do? He's like, follow your heart. Do that shit. Just do it. And so during them lockdown months, I had to just sit my ass in this room or go outside and just all right, God, what we got to do? Like, how we gonna make this shit work? And when we get to that point, we're like, okay, clientele coming in, money coming in, but then you have some hiccups. But then once you get back on point, you steady rolling. And then when I had caught COVID, December of last year, going into this year, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was like out of here, because I was in the hospital for like 2 days. I couldn't breathe. Like, my body was like weak, because I was working myself so hard during the pandemic, like the lockdown months, and then going into November, December, I felt my body just shut down. I thought I was just tired, but then the doctor said, well, I took the tested negative, tested positive. Then after I tested positive, my body just shut down. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't breathe. Like, it hurt to look. It hurt to blink. I'm like, and I remember I went to the emergency room, telling my parents, I'm like, I don't know. The doctor came in here like, hey, like, it's not looking good. I'm like, shit, you going out like this? Yeah. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? And so when I recovered from the COVID, and I had, during that time, I'm like, well, if this how we gonna go out, Lord, thank you for the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
And how long did it take for you to bounce back?
Baby, it took physically, what was that, March, April, May, June? So about like May, about a good 3 months. Because
good for you for bouncing back though, man.
Listen, bro, like when the doctor came in, he's like, because when he came in the hospital, he's like, you a big guy, but you're in shape. What do you do? I said, I'm a trainer. He's like, oh, yeah, you might have to stop working out for a while. I'm like, huh? Because like working out for me, it was therapy. Yes, it was like my sanctuary. That's like my common place. And so when I'm in my room, I couldn't move. I couldn't eat barely. I still couldn't smell and taste. So I'm in here literally like withering away. And then one day I woke up, I heard a voice that said, get up. And so I went outside. I had put on some workout clothes to go walk. And at this time I had bronchitis where I was on the asthma pump at the time. And so I'm walking, and I just felt the room spinning. I'm like, shit, I should take my ass out of the house. I just kept walking. I'm walking. I had walked a mile, and my body was like, nigga, if you don't sit your ass the fuck down, but like, we gotta keep going. Yeah. And then so my cousin had opened the gym back up, and he said, Dom, you good? Physically, hell no. Mentally, fuck no. But I gotta keep going. And so when we got to the gym that first night, the air conditioner had broke. And at this time I couldn't breathe properly because I was still on the pump, and my body was trying to get adjusted to being active. I kid you not, I passed out twice in the gym. And my cousin was like, Dom, I said, "Cuz, open the door." And I opened the door, and I went to the door, and I fell out.
Oh.
He said, "Don, get your ass up." He started spazzing out. I said, I'm good. He said, "Get up." He said, "Go sit down." I said, I gotta keep going. And I got up again and did another workout. And I sat by the door and I fell out again. He said, "Dom, stop." Because like I didn't want to give up because like I worked so hard to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? I done built this business from the ground up. I don't want to throw in the towel. So I'm like, if I die doing this shit, fuck it.
That's such an athletic mentality. I think that's your sports
literally
background.
What I was saying earlier. That's what I was saying earlier.
Because me personally, you don't have to fight me. Yeah. I got a sniffle. I ain't going to the gym. I ain't doing shit. You know.
My cousin can tell you. My cousin can tell you if I call him on the phone right now, he'd be like, "That nigga is crazy," and I am. See, like,
no, I get it. I definitely get it. I think the thing is, like, so for me, I'm like that with work in general. Just I have to be working all the time. I have to be doing something. So I think that's more my thing, more so than gym. But physically, I think that's a great mentality to have. I don't know if it's the healthiest way to move necessarily. No. So I know when I have my sciatica flare-ups, I don't know what to call them really, but basically sometimes my back goes out and I can't do shit. And I'm in a lot of pain. And even though one of the key things, all you can do really is just rest. But I don't like just laying there. I feel like I have to be doing something. I have to be, fixing something. And the problem with that is you start doing shit and you don't recover as quickly as you could because you're doing extra shit. So it's also important to be balanced and be and be
Travis
careful.
Scott said it best. He said, "Find your balance." But at that time, I'm like, I don't like being told I can't do nothing. I hate it. It drives me crazy. I hate when somebody like, "You can't do that, or you ain't gonna bounce back." I'm like, man, fuck you. Like I never forget when I first started my business, family, "Oh, you doing this shit the wrong way. You know what you're doing." And at that time, I had to develop, like I tell people all the time, I had to develop that fuck you attitude. Like people gonna always talk shit about you. They're gonna always say the negative shit that you're not doing. Right. But like Drake said that lyric when he says, "People whisper my success, but yell out my, no, they whisper my success, but they yell out my failures," or something like that. On that line, like people gonna always talk shit. "Oh, you ain't doing that. You got that going on. You ain't built to be no trainer. What you know about being a trainer?" But then it's like, what the fuck you doing? And so people gonna always talk, whether it be for with your company or whatever we got going on. People and that's paying attention. Like people gonna always say something about what you got going on. The thing is, don't listen. And I tell my clients, like I tell you all the time, fuck them people. But like at the same time, it's like one of them things. Like you have to develop that attitude because people gonna always say something, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or beautiful. They're gonna always find a flaw in something that you're doing. But you have to develop that attitude, like, man, motherfuck you. You ain't doing something. So I'll show you, but I can tell you. I don't like talking about, "Oh, I got this going on." Like I told you about, like what I had announced on Twitter the other day about getting back in school and like having other business ideas popping off. I don't like talking about saying, "Oh, I got that going on, got this going on, got that going on," because people gonna always. You can't tell everybody your dreams and your goals because everybody they're praying for your downfall. They want you to fall off, so it could be like, "I told you so."
Like they always say, plan in secret.
Well, this is the thing, and I want to say this specifically to haters because the reality is people don't know that they're hating. I realize this when people say shit,
the slick jabs,
and when you try to call it out, like, "Why are you being negative?" I'm not being negative. Yes, you are. And one thing I absolutely hate, especially when it comes to people who are trying to start a business or or start a project or whatever it is for the first time, I get really upset with people who their first thought is to tell them all the things that could go wrong, all the things that the person is doing wrong, instead of, "Hey, I heard about this program, or I heard about this thing, or have you read this yet? I found some stuff that might help you out." That's a lot different than you're doing it wrong. It's different if I say, "Actually, I read this book about marketing. You might want to check this one out." That's a lot different than you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're actually trying to support someone, then you support them. You don't have to point out their flaws. It's like what I tell people all the time. Big people know they big. If you fat, we ain't confused. We ain't lost. We didn't forget. We don't need you to point out our weight. We don't need you to tell us to lose weight. I promise you, every single big person in your life knows that they're big. I promise you, every big person knows. Every cousin you got, your mama, whoever it is, they all know that they're big. You don't have to point it out. You don't have to tell them. If you're really trying to help someone, find out what helps them. Find out where they're struggling. If it's maybe you have a friend who gained weight in the past month and you're concerned about them. What are you actually concerned about? The weight or the thing that's causing the weight gain?
Yep.
Right? So if you care about the person, support them. You don't have to point out their flaws and what they're doing wrong, because it literally just feels negative and it feels like it's hate. Even if that's not your intention, that's what you're doing. So absolutely, if you want to support and encourage people, it does not help to berate them. Doesn't help to tell them that they're doing it wrong. Doesn't tell them that they're bad people. Doesn't help that they don't know what they're doing. Because guess what? I probably don't know what I'm doing. That's probably true. But I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the research I need. If you have extra resources, then share with me the fucking resources.
I don't want to.
That's not because that's
most of them don't have any
the goal. Because that's not the goal. The goal isn't to help. It's to berate and make themselves feel better because they're not doing something that they should be doing.
Yeah, and like your viewer just said, it's family. It's family. It's always family. I remember when I first started this business, I had a cousin who literally read me and tried to tell me where I was doing wrong with my business. You're not certified. You're not this. You're not that. Instead of just saying, "Hey, cuz, this how you do this. This how you do that." You know what I'm saying? My other cousin who put me in position to be this personal trainer, he sent me all the information. I went ahead and got myself certified before I kicked off the business for real. It's one of those things where like what Kenny was saying, like you were saying too, like people, they're going to mask the disrespect by saying some slick shit by saying, you always working out, or why you got this, why you doing that? What you doing this for? Instead of just saying, hey bro, I salute you. I like what you got going on. Hey, how about you do this first and then do this first. I can't tell you how many people I lost friends and family along this journey. And at this point, I tell people who I meet, who I date, I need you to be my peace and my support. I don't need your money. I don't need your cars, clothes. I don't need none of that. I need you to understand as I go forward, I need people to keep me like this, tunnel vision, have me focused. I don't want to look at the left and right. I don't want to pull people and be like, come on, I got to help you up too. I need people to be like, hey, if I'm falling off, tell me, but keep it constructive. Don't tell me, oh, you fucking off. You ain't shit. Whatever. Like tell me when I'm out of line, or if I'm not on my shit. You know I'm a hustling ass nigga. Tell me, am I doing it correctly? If I'm not, let it be known. But people, I have to have a circle of people, and I finally found them, that band of people who keep me on my toes and tell me, hey, do this like this, or nah, don't do like that, Dom. Do it this way. Keep it, promote this. Do it this way. Edit your videos this way. Rock it this way. So you got to, and for people that's listening, no matter what you're doing, keep people in your circle, that's in your core circle, that's going to want to see you succeed. You ain't got to talk to them every day, but the ones that really fuck with you, that's going to promote you without you having to beg you to share your stuff. You got to find people that's going to support you, whether it be starting a business or going back to school or
starting working out.
Started working out. Easy. And so people are going to always do little slick ass shit. Like, oh, why you doing that for? What you doing this for? I have friends to pick on me and be like, damn, all you do is be in the gym. All you do is working out. I'm like, I'm a trainer. I have
you supposed to be at the strip club.
I'm not out in the streets, roaming the streets, and out here just
sometimes when I hear people say things like that,
that's an inferiority complex.
Yeah, I think it's more so about everything people say to you is about them. It has nothing to do with you. That's what I had to learn too, right?
All the time.
So their comment about you being at the gym all the time means one of two things. Either they feel bad that they aren't in the gym, or they feel bad that you don't spend enough time with them. It's one of two things. So it has more to do with how they're feeling versus what you're actually doing.
The thing that bothers me about that too is a lot of times if you were doing like mad stuff like learning 3 languages or something, maybe you could say something. I still wouldn't like it, but at least I could see where you're coming from. But a lot of these people be telling you stuff like that. Their day is playing Call of Duty, like 6 hours, you know. They'll be hanging out in the corner store or on the stoop. Yeah,
that's true. The bums it's always bums that say it.
Yeah, man. I remember there used to be this dude I used to know. He used to be on the stoop all day long. I used to go to the gym. And he's like, man, you just be wasting time in that gym. Like, what are you doing? You see, how can you tell anybody to waste time? You're on this stoop when I leave the building and when I come back in. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't. You wouldn't believe. Like, since I've lost weight and just fixed my whole and turned my whole life around, the same people, bro. You look good, bro. What you been doing? Going to the gym.
All the things you was just clowning me about.
Right, and they're like, you look good. Like, I know, like, because them nights in the gym, because people don't understand when people saying shit like that. When it's like, people that's paying attention, when it's your spouse, your family, your mother, your father, whoever you call family, if they be the main ones clowning you, and I always tell people, take that as motivation and apply it to whatever you got going on. I used to hear all that shit from family, friends, associates, and I go in the gym, put these headphones in, put the phone on do not disturb, and lock in for like 2 or 3 hours in the gym, because I let all that frustration, all that anger, let it out in a positive note instead of cussing somebody out, or instead of putting my hands on somebody and risking my freedom and my life. I'd rather just go to the gym. So yeah, I'm in the gym all day because you got me fucked up. I'm gonna show you why I do what I do, and then when I pop out with different stuff, they're like, "Oh, I know you're doing that." Yeah, you didn't know because you didn't care to ask what I got going on. You didn't care. You were steady beating me across the head. Oh, all you do is that. All you do is that. All you do is this. So for those, yeah.
I was just gonna say though, and I want to take what you just said and kind of be clear for people as well.
Mm-hmm.
You said you took your anger and your frustration out in the gym. The anger and the frustration that was triggered by someone being negative towards you, right? Or to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What people get fucked up, and this is the part that I get frustrated about, is they'll take your story and they'll say, well, I motivated him because I picked on him. No, seriously. I've had people tell me, I bullied my cousin into losing weight. Like, people have literally I told them that doesn't work. That doesn't help people lose weight. Yes, it does work, because I bullied my cousin, or I bullied so-and-so, or I kept telling them how fat they were, and they went in the gym and worked out because and they think that's motivation. I don't think they understand. That person did that in spite of the amount of negativity you were spewing at them. It wasn't, the results weren't because of you. But so it's not, so you can be encouraging. You don't have to be an abusive person and bully. You can't bully people into losing weight. You can probably make someone feel ashamed of themselves, but they're probably taking their frustration out. Not necessarily because they're taking their frustration out likely because you are the one who triggered it. Where they could have been motivated by something positive in the gym, but you just sat up there and triggered them. You know? So why would you want to take credit for that?
And so with that being said, it's one of those things where I apply that to life itself. Like, if somebody got me fucked up, I just go harder. Like, I don't get in my feelings. I don't get flustered. It's the athletic concept. Like, okay, you got me on that one, but I'm gonna show you I'm gonna bust your ass the next play. I'm gonna bust your ass the next drive. I'm gonna bust your ass the next game because you got me fucked up. Because like I said, I hate being told, you can't do this, or I hate being told, or I hate feeling like I can't accomplish something. It's like I've always had this concept, like, if I want it, I'm gonna go get it. Like, if I have to sacrifice certain things, then so be it. But at the same time, I'm gonna show you why you had me fucked up. And I'm not gonna talk to. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I got this going on, this, that, and the third. I'm just gonna lock myself in, be quiet. I'm gonna shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna just work consistently, daily, weekly, hourly, because it's one of those things where, like, yeah, you had said what you said. It's in the back of my head, but at the same time, I'm gonna show you that you tried it. Now I'm gonna double up on you, and then show you, like, it's the result of me having this is because you tried me. That's with friends, family, for those like I said, paying attention. People that's close to you be the main ones fucking with your mental, as opposed to meeting strangers on social media. Them be the main supporters.
And,
like without
well, the thing
Twitter,
is, people who know you, I want to say this too, because they're closer to you, it also impacts you a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Before he come back, I want to tell you I gotta go.
Well, I'm about to wrap right now. That's what I was about to do. We're about to wrap.
Yeah. But
so
the biggest thing is that you know, to close it out. What I was saying is just you have to understand that you have to do it for you. Simply, stay focused, keep your head up, and don't let nobody try to take you off your path, because the devil gonna send anybody close, even the one close to you. When you say my brother, my sister, your lady, your wife, your husband, whoever the case, you call your people. They be the main one that want to see you fall off because they're not doing nothing to prepare or better themselves. So they be like, okay, see, he or she trying to do something. Let me say some slick shit to throw them off so that I can bring them back down to reality. People are afraid of change, and when they see people that's willing to make a change, want to sacrifice themselves to get that change, and like, damn, he or she gonna leave me for somebody better, or damn, he or she want to elevate and leave me in the dust.
It triggers their insecurities. Absolutely.
Yep.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap because it's been about 2 hours, and everybody got to get on with their evenings. But thank you for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead,
thanks. Another thing too, man. If we got a phone number and we're gonna be taking call-ins, so if you ever want to come on and answer some fitness questions and stuff, you're welcome to do that at some point too.
Oh, that would be great. Absolutely. Yes, love that. Yeah. So just for wrapping up, for those of you guys who are listening, the key to dominating your fitness and health is meditating and praying, getting your mind right spiritually, ignoring the haters, encouraging yourself, make working out your sanctuary, make it about you, internalize it in a way that helps you and motivates you. You don't have to worry about nobody else outside of you because it's about you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Coach Dom, my personal trainer. Recommend him highly. 5 stars, 5 stars.
Thank you for joining us.
Where can people find you?
Oh man, you can find me on Twitter at Dom the Trainer, DOMDA Trainer. On Instagram, Coach_Dom DH. Yeah, just Twitter and Instagram. I don't really do Facebook. I'm not a big Facebooker, but I'm active on and TikTok too. Coach Dom DH on TikTok. I have most of these workout videos and stuff like that.
And just so it's clear, they don't have to live in your town to be trained by you.
Oh no. He's in the South.
Yeah, I want to make sure people know that if they don't know that.
Yeah, if you are looking to start your fitness journey, you can follow me on Twitter at Dom the Trainer. DM me. I do Zoom or Google Meets or FaceTime, whatever you feel comfortable, because some people think they have to they have to go to the gym. We do workouts comfort
right
in
my house. I got a mat. I got, what do you call it, resistance bands. I got all the things I need. I got water. He always makes me make sure I have my water.
Yeah, because some people get intimidated by the gym. Like, nah, bro, you can do that. If you always ask me, I gotta go to the gym? No. Well, get you a mat and some bands, and we'll make that thing work. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Don't forget, guys, if you have any comments, questions, you can always email us, champagnesharks@gmail.com. Make sure you support us and subscribe to us on Patreon, patreon.com/champagnesharks. You can also hit us on Venmo or Cash App if you just want to support us directly. You can go to @champagnesharks on Venmo, Cash App or Cash, whatever the cash tag thing is, Champagne Sharks. And if you just want to find us anywhere, Google Champagne Sharks. Is the best name on the planet. I don't know who came up with it. Was that T?
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
Perfect name, because nobody else is called Champagne Sharks, and you're going to find us. So, all right, you guys have a great night. Anything else you guys want to say before I end the broadcast?
Yeah, just follow us everywhere. That's it.
Follow us everywhere. Good night.